off somewhere different this time. Welcome to Edinburgh Castle, an iconic landmark in the middle of the city and historically very useful for ships.
You might have heard of the 1 Oclock Gun. Nowadays it's mostly a novelty for tourists and a handy way for us to know that it's 1 o'clock.
Historically though, it was very important. The 1 Oclock Gun was used by mariners, also known as sailors, to set their on-ship clocks. As you know from the latitude and longitude video, an accurate measure of time was really important for old methods of navigation.
Often it was a lot of effort for mariners to bring their onboard clocks to the main city timekeeper in order to set them, so long-distance methods were created. Ships would wait until they heard the 1 Oclock Gun to set their clocks. The 1 Oclock Gun dates back to 1861 and was introduced from Paris.
There is, however, one potential problem with the gun system: the speed of sound. If you're close to the castle, then the sound would reach you quickly and you'd be able to set your clock accurately. However, if you're down in the docks in Leith, the sound would take longer to get to you, so clocks set to this sound would be out of sync.
Another popular method for setting ships' onboard clocks, and one that solves this speed of sound problem, is that of the time ball. You might have seen a time ball in videos of Times Square on New Year's Eve in New York City, or maybe at the Greenwich Observatory in London. We have a time ball of our own here in Edinburgh at the top of Nelson Monument on Calton Hill. It was installed in 1852, almost a decade before the 1 Oclock Gun here at the castle.
Providing you can see the tower, not always possible in Scottish weather, the moment the ball dropped, you would know it was 1 o'clock without having to wait for the sound to reach you. So, clock set to this would be much more accurate.
This worked great for a time. Before messages could be sent wirelessly, ships' navigation relied on accurate timekeeping. When the wireless telegraph was invented, radios began to be used on ships. Ships would wait to set their onboard clocks for when they got messages over the radio of the time. Eventually, long-range navigation systems using radio waves that worked over distances up to 1,500 miles began to be used on ships.
As ships became faster and commercial air travel began to take off after World War II, it became increasingly more important to navigate accurately and quickly. Pilots didn't have time to take measurements by hand and couldn't always rely on seeing the ground for navigation.
It wasn't until Sputnik was launched in 1957 that scientists had the idea of using the known orbits of man-made satellites to help ships and planes navigate. This was the beginning of satellite navigation.
Time for some hands-on activities now. You'll be learning about the speed of sound, how to calculate speed and acceleration, and figuring out how long it takes to get to far-flung places in different vehicles.